members of the public. I now call the Committee of Adjustment meeting for December 19th, 2024 to order. As this meeting is being held virtually, I will remind you that the meeting is being recorded and streamed live via the County of Brant YouTube account. I won't lay out the rules for members of the committee online as we have none online tonight. This meeting is held in accordance with the provision of the Planning Act, which requires notice of the public information meeting and the public notice sign to be posted. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss minor variance and consent applications and provide those in attendance the opportunity to provide feedback. A copy of the meeting agenda with all related materials is available on the County of Brant website. Once the presentations, public hearing, and question period are complete for each item, if the committee deems it appropriate, they will make a decision which is final following the 20-day appeal period. The order of delegation are as follows: planning staff report and recommendation, applicant agent presentation, questions and discussion, public comments, further questions of clarification, and the decision. I'll now start with item 1 on our agenda, and I'll call attendance. Please indicate if you are present or if you're in attendance by stating present. Mary Jane Brown, present. Harry Emmett.
Present.
John Vamus.
Present.
Jane Panay. Present. Rebecca Smith.
Present.
And I'll note that Steve Schmidt and Bob Hamilton are not attending tonight's meeting. Item 2 on our agenda, new business. We will move to adopt the copy of the 2025 Committee of Adjustment calendar, which was provided. Could I have a motion to approve the 2025 calendar and a seconder? Member Emmett, you're the mover, and Member Panay is the seconder. Could I have your motion, please?
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Penang that the calendar of the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meetings for 2025 be approved.
Thank you. And all in favor, state, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Panay.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve the calendar for 2025 dates of meetings has been approved. And under new business, can I have a motion to appoint Nicole Campbell as the new Secretary Treasurer to the Committee of Adjustment? And I can introduce Nicole if you want to stand and take a bow. Could I have a motion from a member? Member Smith, and a seconder. Member Vamus, can you please provide the motion?
I'll make a motion that Nicole Campbell be appointed as Secretary Treasurer.
Thank you. And please indicate if you're in favor by stating yes when I call your name. Member Emmett?
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Panay?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to appoint Nicole Campbell as Secretary Treasurer has carried. She is now appointed in that position. We will now move to item 3, the approval of agenda for tonight's meeting. Do any members have items to be added to the meeting agenda? I believe there are none, so can I request mover and seconder? Member Panay, Member Emmett is the seconder. Can you please provide the motion?
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Emmett that the agenda of the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting of December 19th, 2024 be approved.
Thank you. Please indicate if you're in favor of this motion, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Panay.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve the agenda for December 19th, 2024 has carried. The agenda has now been approved. I would now like to ask the committee, are there any members who have to declare a conflict of interest for any of the items on the agenda this evening? There are none, so we will move to item 5. The adoption of the minutes from the previous meeting, which was October 17th, 2024. Do committee members have any errors or omissions to note? I believe there are none, so can I have a mover and a seconder for this item? Member Emmett? Seconder? Member Penang? Please provide your motion.
Moved by myself, seconded by Member Penang, that the minutes from the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting of October 17, 2024 be approved.
Thank you for the motion. Members, please indicate if you are in favor of this motion, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Bamus.
Yes.
Member Penang.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Member Brown, yes. The motion to adopt the minutes from October 17th, 24 has carried, so the minutes are now in record for that meeting. And I will now introduce item 6.1 for the applications B10 and B12-24-KD and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendations.
Good evening. This is a consent application for lands located at 375 Harley Road within the former geographic township of Bedford. The subject lands are located south of Harley Road and east of Muir Road South. Parts of the subject lands are located within the settlement area boundary of New Durham, with the rest being outside of the settlement area boundary. The subject lands are approximately 17 hectares in size with a frontage of approximately 66.29 meters on Harley Road. The property is surrounded by residential hamlets and villages to the north and west, agricultural lands to the east, and natural heritage features and agricultural employment uses to the north. There are natural heritage features located at the rear portion of the property. The property currently contains one residential dwelling with its associated accessory structures and is serviced by a private water and septic system. The application was deemed complete after the new official plan became effective and therefore is reviewed under the County of Brant Official Plan 2023. The subject lands are designated Village Developed Area, Agriculture, and Natural Heritage System within the County of Brant Official Plan, and are currently zoned as agricultural, residential hamlets and villages, and natural heritage within the county's zoning bylaw. The applicant is proposing to sever 13.636 hectares of the subject lands to be added to the adjacent agricultural land located to the west and to sever 0.098 hectares of the subject lands to be added to the existing residential lot at 365 Harley Road. The retained lands are entirely within the hamlet boundary of New Durham with a lot area of approximately 3 hectares, a frontage of approximately 66.29 meters, and a depth of approximately 198.72 meters. The proposed boundary adjustment will result in the enlargement of the adjacent agricultural lands and the residential lot, supporting their continued use. No vacant lot is created as a result of the proposal. Due to the Canada Post strike, the notice of this application was circulated via a newspaper advertisement in the Brantford Expositor on December 3rd and also got posted on the county's active application webpage. No public comments have been received during the review of this application. I would like to note that the development engineering staff have commented that since the benefiting property at 365 Harley Road already has care and control of an existing access onto Harley Road, the second entrance to the east must be removed and the ditch area remediated. A condition has been added to address this comment. As a result of the consent review, staff is of the opinion that the application is in conformity with the policies of the provincial planning statement regarding minor boundary adjustments for legal or technical reasons and also is in conformity with the general intent of the policies of the county's official plan and zoning bylaw. Therefore, I'm recommending approval of consent applications B10 and B12-24-KD. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the presentation and report. Do any committee members have any questions or comments to staff on this application? No comments, questions? I have a question. When I see that drawing, which is on page 18 of 18 or 28 of 83 in our package, why is the severance being done? Am I reading it wrong with number 365, the house that faces out onto the roadway? And so there's like a jog. The green area shows the retained lands. So basically, 365 is obtaining the lands, but there's going to be distance because it will be, the retained lands are staying with 375? Or am I reading it back?
Yes, through the chair, that's right. The green portion will be remain within the 375 Hartley Road.
But the address for all that parcel will be 365, even though there's this big green area between yellow?
Through the chair, that small red portion on top will be added to the yellow portion, which is 365 Hartley Road.
Yeah.
And the remaining is within 375 Hartley Road.
So is there going to be an easement across the green area?
Through the chair, I don't believe it's necessary to have an easement because there are two different addresses and two different lots.
Are you clear on this arrangement?
I think so.
Okay, please explain them.
The little red area on the top,
Yes.
the little sliver, that's going to be added to 365.
Okay.
The bigger red triangle with the hash mark is being added to the yellow with the hash marks. So they'll be entered upon way out by Muir Road, I'm guessing. If I read the.
That is correct, yes.
Okay, because yes, I see now as it's pointed out okay, and I did see the additional driveway that was referred to. Okay, now that it has been explained to me, are there any other comments or questions? Then I'll ask, is the applicant or their agent present? Can you please come to the podium? Can we please have your name?
Yep. Hi, good evening. Brandon Flewelling. I'm with GSP Group. I'm the agent on behalf of the property owner. I think Megan did a great presentation, so I'll just answer any further questions you might have. For clarification purposes, I think it's been resolved, but the property now currently has this little laneway, which is that red piece that goes up, and that's just going to be the residential lot addition. But I'm happy to answer any other clarification questions.
Any other comments or questions to the agent? Member Vamus, please
Yes,
go ahead.
through the chair to the applicant. So the green area shown on the map, so is that going to create a new residential lot?
Yes, through the chair. That becomes the retained parcel. Essentially, it's a new residential lot. Currently, it's a sort of an agricultural piece, but the agricultural land will be severed from it.
Then the second question, the red area and the yellow area, there's looks like there's a barn in the middle between. There's a barn halfway?
Down at the sort of south end in the middle of the property? Is that what you're referring to?
No, when I look on Google Earth, it shows like there's a barn right in that dividing line. When you look on Google Earth, I just wonder, the barn, it looked like the line was going right through the middle of the barn.
So that's cleaned up through the chair, sorry. That's cleaned up now with this lot addition. Because the red hatched area is being added to the yellow hatched area, so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or? No? We will now open the public portion of the meeting, and I've been informed there are no public delegations, so, and I don't see anyone in council chambers here, so we will now move on to any final questions or comments from committee members. So since there are none, I will request a mover to put forth your motion. And since there are two applicants, I believe provide a motion for each one separately. Member Smith, please go ahead with your motion to see if you can obtain a seconder.
I'll make a motion to approve B1024KD as the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms to the general intent of the policies of the official plan and zoning bylaw, subject to the conditions that are attached in the staff report.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder for that motion? Member Emmett? And I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett. Please
Yep.
indicate yes.
Yes?
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Panay?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion has carried, so application B1024KD has been approved. And since you provided the first one, could you provide it for B12?
I'll also make a motion to approve B1224KD as the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms to the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw, subject to the conditions that are attached in the staff report.
Thank you. And Member Emmett, will you second?
Sure.
Thank you. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett,
Yes?
Member Vamus,
Yes.
Member Panay,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Yes.
and Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B1224KD has carried, so that application has now been approved. And I will now introduce the item 6.2 for application B20-24-NM and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
Thank you. Before presenting the application, I would like to know that there was a technical error in the report regarding the lot measurements. Staff will make sure that the decision reflects the correct measurements. This is a consent application for lands located at 542 Paris Road within the former geographic township of Brantford. The subject lands are located north of Paris Road and south of Governors Road East. The lands have a lot area of approximately 1.11 hectares and a frontage of 63.54 meters. The property is surrounded by agricultural land uses to the north and east, employment land uses to the south, and rural residential uses to the east and west. The lands contain one existing single detached dwelling and one pool and are serviced by municipal water and septic system. The benefiting lands contain one single detached dwelling and one legal non-conforming use for sales and service of cars and similar light passenger vehicles. There are no natural heritage features on the subject and benefiting lands. The application was deemed complete after the new official plan became effective and therefore is reviewed under the County of Brant Official Plan 2023. The subject lands are designated community corridor within the County of Brant Official Plan and are currently zoned as rural residential in the County of Brant zoning bylaw. The applicant is proposing a lot line adjustment of approximately 5,486.7 square meters to be added to the property at 544 Paris Road. The proposed lot line adjustment would provide sufficient area for future development and associated uses and would not result in a landlocked parcel. Due to the Canada Post strike, the notice of this application was circulated via a newspaper advertisement in the Brantford Expositor on December 3rd and also got posted on the county's active application webpage. No public comments have been received during the review of this application. During the circulation period, the development engineering staff noted that the distance from the recently constructed board fence from the north garage wall of the property at 542 Paris Road is approximately 10 meters as opposed to the shown 15.24 meters in the site plan. The owner has confirmed that the rear fence will be moved back to the 15.24 meter mark, which is approximately 5 meters from its current location. A condition has been added to address this comment. Additionally, development engineering staff have commented on existing access to the rear of the property at 544 Paris Road, which overlaps with the retained parcel. The owner has also confirmed that the access point will be moved to the 15.24 meter mark. A condition has been added to address this comment. As a result of the consent review, staff is of the opinion that the application is in conformity with the policies of the provincial planning statement and the general intent of the policies of counties, official plan, and zoning bylaw. Therefore, I'm recommending approval of consent application B 2024 NM, subject to the attached conditions. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I'll now ask committee members, do you have any comments or questions on this application? Member Emmett, please go ahead.
If we move the board fence from the back of the retained parcel, does that get rid of the jog in the north boundary between the green and the red hashtag area? Page 49 of 83 or 13 of 15, whichever one you want to go by.
Through the chair, I think the owner would be able to speak to this.
Okay.
I don't have that information.
We'll wait till we hear from the applicant. Are there any more comments or questions for staff from the committee? I had a question on, and again, it relates to the board fence, but the typing or the wording of the condition 5A seems to refer to that. So I wasn't, is it maybe just a typo in the submission? Does not meet the tie of 15.24 meters. Is that what you meant?
Through the chair, development engineering staff, I believe, meant that the minimum requirement is 15 meters, and currently the existing fence does not meet the minimum rear yard requirement.
Could we reword that commission or that wording of that condition so that maybe we take up the tie? I found that. Pardon?
Through the chair, it's a bit of a survey term. I think that's why they're kind of referencing the tie, but maybe we just note it as a setback.
Okay,
Make it clear.
thank you. Okay, any other comments, questions for staff then? Then I'll ask if the applicant, I believe, is online or their agent.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. It's Sherry Hollett.
Thank you. Please, do you have anything you wish to add to the report? And also there is a committee member question to you. Did you hear it?
Yes, about the fencing.
Yes.
So the fence, we were just replacing the chain link fence that was there. So it will be moved back in accordance with the drawing.
I believe the question was, would it eliminate the jog?
Oh, no, it would not eliminate the jog. There would be a slight jog there.
All right.
Does that satisfy your question, Emmett?
Being a farmer, I don't like jogs like that, but anyway, maybe in a house it's all right.
There was already one there.
Yep.
So we'll have two jogs. Any other comments or questions to the applicant? I believe there are.
I have one.
Oh, Member Famous.
Yeah, to the chair, to the applicant. On page 13, it shows the lands to be severed, that red area. It shows like that, the small sliver, there's a pool there. And so what, does the pool go with retained lands or the benefiting lands?
The pool would go with the retained land.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Since the pool is, we don't need anything for the pool then, like another.
Through your chair, the setbacks are correct
Okay,
for the pool.
okay. Member Vamus, that's okay?
And then my second question was, on condition 5, it mentions about the fence, and that's just a condition, is there has to be a date that the fence has to be moved by, or that's just a general condition? Like,
That would be for staff then?
Through the chair, the fence will actually move back to 15.24 meter mark, which is shown in the site plan.
And
there's no date or deadline for that, that's just one condition, they just have to finish that condition whenever they can.
Through the chair, that's right.
Okay,
Just
Member Smith, you have.
to the chair, sorry, just for clarification, all conditions need to be completed within 2 years for the deeds to be stamped in the application, for it to be registered for transfer. So it has to be done within 2 years.
Okay. That's what I was just wondering if there's a date on there, okay.
And following through on that too, that was one reason I requested that, because there was a requirement that the fence had to be moved, but I thought the wording of 5A didn't really specify it needed to be moved. That maybe if the wording is modified a bit. Okay. You had a comment, Member Smith? We're all good now? And I believe there are no public delegations for this. So then I'll ask the committee, do you have any final comments, questions, before I ask for a motion? Member Panay, you have a question or you want?
No, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, please go ahead with your motion, see if you get a seconder.
I'd like to make a motion that application B20-24-NM be approved with the attached conditions.
Thank you. Could I only request that you add that there could be some clarification to the wording of condition 5A?
Yes.
Thank you. And is there a seconder? Member Smith? Then I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Panay.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B20-24NM has carried, so that application has now been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will now introduce item 6.3 for application A16-24NM and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
Good evening. This is a minor variance application for lands located at 72 Hammond Road within the former geographic township of Brantford. Subject lands are located on the east side of Hammond Road and south of McBay Road. Subject lands have an area of approximately 1.29 hectares and a frontage of 88.6 meters. The property is surrounded by agricultural, rural residential, and natural heritage land uses. The lands contain one existing single attached dwelling and is serviced by septic system, well, and ditches. There are no natural heritage features on the subject lands. The application was deemed complete before the new official plan became effective. The subject lands are designated countryside within the 2023 official plan and were previously designated as rural residential within the 2012 official plan. Lands are currently zoned as rural residential in the County Brant zoning bylaw 6116. The applicant is requesting relief from section 4, table 4.4.1 of the zoning bylaw to permit a maximum lot coverage of 278.73 square meters, whereas 140 square meters is permitted, and relief of maximum structure height of 5.54 meters, whereas 5 meters is permitted. Due to the Canada Post strike, the notice of this application was circulated via newspaper advertisement in the Brantford Expositor and was also posted on the county's active application webpage. No public comments were received during the review of this application. At the time of preparing the recommendation report, the development engineering staff commented that there is an existing underground propane gas line from the tank to the house underneath the proposed accessory structure. Should the application be approved, relocation of the proposed gas line will be required and has been added as a condition. Additionally, the environmental planning staff are unclear as to where silt control fencing is proposed on the grading plan. Either proof of installation of silt control measures, including fencing, or an updated grading plan that illustrates the location of the light-duty silt fence shall be provided prior to the issuance of a building permit. This has also been added as a condition. As a result of the minor variance review, staff is of the opinion that the application is in conformity with the policies of the PBS and general intent of the policies of the County of Brant's official plan and zoning bylaw. Therefore, I'm recommending approval of the minor variance application A1624NM, subject to the attached conditions. Thanks.
Thank you for the presentation. Do the committee members have any comments to questions to staff? Member Panay?
Through the chair, this is an additional building to the existing property which is already built, right?
Through the chair, this will be a proposed accessory structure. So as of right now, there's only a single detached dwelling on the property.
Through the chair, is this going to be a new structure at the back of the property?
Through the chair, this is a proposed new accessory structure to the northeast of the existing dwelling.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Member Vamus?
Through the chair to staff, I noticed in the packages, there's no drawing of the, usually there's like a drawing or plan of the new structure. I noticed there's no plan or drawing, and usually they have the siding, if it's brick or aluminum siding. There's no diagram of any building for the accessory structure. Usually we have that, what it's going to look like and how big, and is it an additional ADR, additional residential unit, or is it just for I noticed there's a couple RVs or motorhomes in the property. Is it for motorhomes, or is it is it a second house on the property?
Through the chair, it's the staff's understanding that the structure will only be used for storage purposes. We do have the applicant and agent online if they want to speak to the use of the structure, but that's our understanding.
So I just wonder if the new structure, is that to house the motorhomes, or is it for living, or is it going to be hydro and water and gas to the new structure? And then we don't have a diagram of the structure or proposed structure, which we normally do.
I believe the applicant and the agent are online, so we can ask them for, but Norm, I wondered about that. Normally on an application, you do or you don't have to submit the proposed building plan?
Through the chair, we do have a site plan that was submitted as part of this application.
Okay, because I wondered how you came up with the calculation, because it is about twice the maximum lot coverage, so you must have an idea of the type of building referring to member bases.
Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Yes, you hear me okay? Yeah, I'm George Luke Ramirez. How are you?
Fine, we can,
Good.
so are the committee members done with staff for questions or comments? We can move on to the applicant right now.
I just have one last question.
Or
On the
staff.
diagram, there's like a large cement area all around the house, and behind the house, it looks almost larger than the house. Is that the cement patio? Is that included in the lot the lot coverage area, or is that separate? It seems a substantial cement patio all everywhere.
Yeah, there's no cement patio nowhere actually, just a front walkway. But the actual structure is going to mimic the house exterior, with a stone skirt, 3 black garage doors, same kind of wood siding look like the house has, and a similar roof as the main house on top has as well too. So it'll mimic like the house, so it'll look attractive. It'll look like the house, the shop was built the same time the house was.
Okay, could we have your name, please, for the record?
Yeah, I'm George Luke Ramirez.
Thank you. And I believe Member Famous's question referred to the lot coverage calculation, if the patio area around the house that he's discussing, was it included in that lot coverage of 278.73 square meters?
No, there's no patio. There's no patio around the house.
There is no patio.
Correct. No.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe I can help clarify a few items here. This proposed garage is strictly for storage. It's not for a second rent. So the 278 square meters, roughly 3,000 square feet, is the size of the accessory structure. And its height is slightly over the requirements that submit preliminary building plans as part of our application, and it is to match the existing residence on the property. I hope that clarifies.
So it is for storage, as I believe some members asked regarding the motorhomes. That's why you're requiring the additional height?
No, there's no motorhomes. No. I just have a boat, and I have some Sea-Doos, and I have a couple sports cars that would be going inside there. That's all.
The intent was generally to match the existing residence, and it's a little bit ability to store on not a second level, but at least some potential for some mezzanine in.
So then to follow through with Member Famous's question, are there sketches or drawings available of the proposed building?
Staff should have those as part of our application.
They weren't put in our package. Did you wish to see them, Member Famous?
Well, I was thinking that the application is asking for double the size, 278, 140. So you're asking for a building double the size that's allowed. That's a pretty large building. So I just want to know what it looked like or what's going to go in there. That's quite a big ask.
The ones across the road and beside are all also 3,000 square feet plus as well. That was approved by the county.
Any other comments, questions? Member Smith?
Maybe just a general comment through the chair. If this garage was attached to the house, there would be no minor variance. So I think it's just because of the distance from the house. It seems probably a little bit bigger. And I know with it being double the size as the accessory building, just kind of making that note, if it was attached to the house, a minor variance wouldn't be necessary.
Just to follow on that, though, it would still, if you're adding on to the house, you're still impacting what the lot coverage would be. So then why would building it attached to the house not require a lot coverage minor variance if it were an additional 3,000 square feet?
To the chair. Because it wouldn't be called an accessory building. It would just be the total lot coverage of the entire property. So I think, is it possible, and maybe you didn't calculate this for the purpose of the report, but do you know the percentage of the total lot coverage that the accessory building will have on that entire lot? Because it is quite a big lot.
Through the chair, I don't have the actual.
Unfortunately, I don't have that number in front of me, but you are correct. It's a relatively large lot, and if it were to be connected, I'm sure it would be below the maximum lot coverage? I'm well aware.
It's 3.6 acres.
Does that answer your questions? Member Panay, do you have a question?
Through the chair, is the bush portion of the lot part of this lot? There's a bush in the back. No?
That would likely be a question for the applicant. Do you own part of the bush that is at the back?
I think there's a little bit there, but not a lot.
No, the boundary of the wood lot is right along the rear property line. So I hope that answers the question.
Another question through the chair. How the driveway is going to go from the left side of the property? It's already a fenced property.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Did you hear the question? Regarding the driveway access, since it's already fenced. Are you just...
It'll be the same driveway, ma'am. Same driveway.
So the entrance is going to be the same.
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions to the applicant? Member Vamus?
Yes, I have a note here about there's a livestock barn in the meat area, but I can't find what page it's on, but I have it in my notes. Is there a livestock barn across the road or beside? I read it somewhere, but now I can't find it. But I have my notes. There's a livestock barn in the immediate area.
I'm not aware of that.
Through the,
I may be able to answer that. From a number of years ago, there was a conflict when that lot was severed. If you'll note, there was a small shed, and I believe it's right on, very close to the property line. I saw it in one of the pictures, and I saw it when I was out there, and there were a couple of ponies in it. Is that what you're referring to? Because that had some challenges for MDS. It was vacant, I believe. There were no livestock units in it when the severance was allowed. And I believe across and down the road there was a livestock barn. I'm not sure. Maybe staff can answer that too.
through the chair, it's the staff's understanding that the proposed accessory structure is for storage purposes. Therefore, it is not subject to the minimum distance separation requirements. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, to the chair. I just found in my notes, yeah, there's a livestock barn at 76 Hammond Road.
But because it's storage, then MDS is not applicable. That's correct?
Through the chair, that's correct, yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Nope. Member Emmett.
Just a general comment. I think that the lot is a very large lot. And so the whole lot coverage probably isn't over the limit as it would be on a small lot. Yes, it is double what we normally allow per coverage per se square footage, but probably percentage is probably within the guidelines, in my own opinion. I'm not a professional.
I would agree with that. Any other comments, questions then? So no final comments, questions to staff or the agent applicant? Then I'll ask the committee, any of the members, are you prepared to make a motion on this? Member Smith, please go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve A1624NM as the application for minor variance meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act, subject to the conditions that are listed in the report.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that motion? Member Emmett? Then I will now call the vote. Please answer yes if you support the motion. Starting with Member Emmett.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
No.
Member Panay.
No.
Member Smith,
Yes.
and member Brown, yes. So that would be 3. The motion has carried. Application A1624NM has been approved.
Thank you, committee, and I wish you the best of the season.
Thank you. Have a good night. I will now move to item 7. The date for our next meeting is scheduled to be January 16th, 2025. And again, it will be a hybrid meeting starting at 6 p.m. And since we have approved the agenda or the list of meeting dates for 2025, we are well aware of it. May I please get a motion to adjourn for item 8 on our agenda? Member Emmett and a seconder, Member Vamus. Please provide your motion.
I move the adjournment of this meeting.
Seconded by Member Vamus. All those in favor? Motion